question that I have for all of you, and I would like you to finish watching the video because most likely, your answer will be the same, but there will be a moment in that answer. Who is responsible for you? Have you ever thought about that? I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are immediately saying, me, I am responsible for me. Okay? Let's go through this and let's see whether or not you really are responsible for you. The mindset of not having a garden and going to the store is something that a lot of people are very familiar with. A lot of folks often say, well, having a garden is too much work. And, you know, whether or not it produces enough to support my family is unknown. We depend on the weather. We depend on the soil, water, and whatnot. So it is a lot easier just to go to the store. It's a lot easier just to have an 8-to-5 job. They give you some money. You work 8 hours. Anything out over that is overtime, and you know it's like a little wheel. I call that being a hamster in a wheel because there's never an end. You work to buy food, and you buy more processed food because you don't have time now to cook, and so on and so forth. So the average folks, I will say this, the majority of people depend on the grocery store. How about if that is not there? Have you thought about that? So who is really responsible for your food? You or that grocery store? I want you to think about that. Let's move on. Many will say this: I will always prioritize skills over gear because skills will get me out of the jam, and you know I'm responsible for myself. Okay? How many people focus more realistically? Let's be honest. Focus more on the shiny thing than not on skills. How many people can tell me right now that they can go and not have a whole bunch of ferrocerium rods that they are brand new in the box and they had not been used? Because I saw a video of somebody saying this one is the best. You should use this one. They saw somebody else saying, oh man, I tried this one and this one is the best. How many? I guarantee you a lot of people focus more on gear than on skills. So who really is responsible for you now? The skills that you have or the gear that is sitting in there? When we talk about mental and physical resilience, it's funny that we sit down and watch a movie or a documentary or whatever about a war and whatnot, and we always critique the way that those folks did things. But we were not there. Those folks was responsible for the freedoms that we have. We right now are just enjoying their sacrifice. So who is really responsible? They or us? And why do I say this and give you this example when it's mental and physical resilience? Because most people nowadays are completely and 100% out of shape. And most people today cannot handle the discomfort of somebody telling them the truth right on their face. That is why I use this example. Here's another one. I live in my house, and my house has everything that I need. Well, let's think about that. Who is responsible for your water? You or the municipality that you live in? Who is responsible for the sewer of your house? You or the municipality that you live in? Who is responsible for the electricity that you use at your home? You or the electric company? And I can go on and on. So, who is responsible? You or them? Something to keep in mind. Here's another one. Many folks will say, I'm just okay without having a community. I don't need a community. Okay. So, let's say that a tree fell in front of your road and you don't have a chainsaw, you don't have equipment to move it. Who come and do it? Your neighbors? The city, perhaps, if you live in the city? So, those are the things that you really need to start thinking. Because when you really think down and you consider the fact that who is really responsible for you, yes, in its core, you are responsible for you. But if you really want to look at the whole thing, your responsibility for yourself is yay big. Because they had taken all the responsibility from the individual and put it in a system. You, most likely, are saying to me right now, I'm responsible, Billy. I'm responsible for myself and for my well-being. I applaud you. That's the way it should be. Most people, or I'm not going to say most people, but a lot of people, how many times you have heard them say, the American people don't need guns. That's why we have police. Police is not there to protect you. It's there to enforce the laws. You are responsible for your own protection. And yet, they don't want it. They pass it on to somebody else. So, when it comes to who is responsible for me, who is responsible for you, the right answer should be you. You are responsible for yourself. But the reality is that most people are not. With that being said, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like always, rock on, rip on, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.